Hey, welcome back. I'm Larry. I'm talking to Harry, and I'm also talking to Sarah. Sarah,
Welcome
I
back.
never tire of having you and Harry on the show because it makes my life so easy. I don't have to work at all, you know.
Hang on. Isn't this Dr. Harry?
Well, that's what we're
Dr.
talking to.
Harry's show?
No, this is Harry's talking to us. No, the thing is that it is interesting. What do we do if you had your druthers, you know, and you know that what worldwide people make lots of jokes about lawyers. Lawyers have a reputation that's not really good. It's higher than our Congress is in the United States. They're mostly lawyers, but then they add being congressmen on, which lowers it worse, I suppose. But what in your own druthers, what do you think lawyers could do to improve the impression, the integrity of the brand? Because it is the integrity of the brand that counts, right? How do we improve the integrity of the lawyer brand?
Okay, specifically here in the Philippines, all my clients who have had an experience in court or with other lawyers in the past always tell me that we are part of the problem. The lawyers are always part of the slow justice system, that we are part of injustice, etc. We cuddle criminals or so on and so forth. So, first of all, really, at this time, 2012, people expect fast results. They expect music on demand. You know, I want to hear this now, and then there's a resource for that. So everything seems to be moving in that direction, that you can have something you want on demand. I want it now, and if I have the money, I can get it now. I should get it now. So when it comes to the justice system, there is delay because there's due process. So you have to give the other party a chance and give them time, and then, well, some lawyers just come to court unprepared most of the time. That also causes delay, which is unfair to the client, of course, and also to the opposing counsel who came in prepared. I think when it comes to practice, lawyers nowadays should be part of the solution, not the problem, in terms of delay. There should be, as much as possible, minimal delay, if not none at all, because non-lawyers cannot understand that. They expect the justice system to work fast and efficiently enough, and it's been done in other jurisdictions. For example, cases don't take years to finish in other jurisdictions, in other countries. So why is that not happening here? Are the lawyers part of that? And I think as officers of the court, we can do something about it. And in fact, the Supreme Court is already promoting ways to speed up the trial system and also to make less paper. You know, submit everything online, something like this. I think it's already in effect in other countries.
Can I ask a question, you know, of here? I had an experience 20 years ago with my youngest brother, who was being sentenced to prison for something. And his lawyer...
That's really good branding, Larry.
Well, I know. Well,
go ahead.
It's
your show.
No, I'm being serious, you know, on a personal basis. And his lawyer, who was a public defender, you know, been chosen by the court, showed up 30 minutes late for the sentencing. And when he came in, he said, "Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry. This judge is always an hour late." So I came 30 minutes late. I thought I had plenty of time to talk to you folks before it ever got started. Now, here's a case. Now, I'm totally ignorant of how things work there, but apparently it's pretty loose. I mean, judges don't show up on time. Lawyers don't show up on time. They're not ready to do what they're being paid to do or what they're tasked to do. And that was one of the questions. You said something about lawyers don't come prepared or they don't come ready. Do you have the same problem here with judges not showing up and lawyers not showing up or not showing up on time? Is that one of the problems of slowing things up here? Because when you have
punctuality.
When you have a court date, if it isn't met, then you're back on the docket again. What, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or something? 3 months, or something like that.
3 months.
And so if one person decides to oversleep or have a hangover or something that day, you've just put it back another 3 months. That's not fair. That's not part of the justice system, or that's not what it should be. And that was what my question is. And I'm not singling out the Philippines on that. That's why I used the example of something in the United States that I was familiar with. I think people forget that they're the servants of the people rather than the other way around. You know, I think So
well,
go ahead.
well, if I may comment.
Yeah. No, I want you to.
Some of our rules here are quite outdated. For example, we have to serve the opposing party a copy all the time. Whatever you serve in court, you give him a copy. It's a matter of due process. Now that's okay. Now the rules require that it has to be personal service, or if that's not possible, substituted service by post office. And we all know it doesn't really arrive on time. So by the time it has arrived to you, a motion, and then the hearing has already been set and gone, and you did not attend that because you just received the mail the motion from the mail. When it's the day of emails and couriers, etc. So we need to adjust that. There's a hierarchy. It has to be personal service, substituted service, and then if that's not possible, then you explain why you sent it by courier. When there should be a priority by email first, fax even, and then courier. I mean, small things like that we have to adjust with the times. It's just my personal observation. Now, when it comes to delay, punctuality, this is from my personal experience. I came prepared for a court hearing, and then when I came to the court, I'm not gonna mention where it is. The courtroom is locked. So I went to the office of the judge, and then all the lawyers were there, all the litigants were there. Apparently, all the judges in that place were ordered to attend a 3-day seminar somewhere. And there was a notice by mail, which I received 1 month later, that all the hearings for that date will be reset, okay? Because all the judges are required to attend the seminar. Anyway, when I got there, of course, I was bummed out. I mean, I'm ready, and then my client was ready, and we both spent time the past few days thinking that, hey, we're going to the court on this date, on this morning. And I thought I was feeling really lousy. In comes this lady who started shouting at everybody. She said, I canceled my trip to Europe for this hearing. This lady, I mean, really, it's so inconsiderate even, for anyone not to notify the other that, hey, this is not going to happen, our meeting's not going to push through. And then the other party shows up without notice of that fact. And it would really even bum me out if I had to cancel my Europe trip to
Well, the thing that
attend the
happened
hearing.
in that thing I was talking about my brother, the judge had decided, well, I think I want to go off and do something else, so I think we'll just hold this off until next week sometime. And the lawyer, after things had got started, said, well, wait a minute, this fella here has come all the way from Japan to say a couple of words here, and I don't think this is very good if we make him go back to Japan and then come back next
again.
week, And he says, well, okay, and I think he was afraid he was going to be late for his golf date or something,
Yes, there are events, incidents that are
and I understand
frustrating.
I understand why the lady's upset, because.
But this could have been prevented. See, if the notice was sent, for example, there are phone numbers there. Whenever we submit a pleading, all the contact numbers, details, everything's there, even the email. So, the court, although it's in the rules that they have to mail it out properly because that's the procedure. A little management could have said, look up all the numbers of all the lawyers and the litigants who are supposed to appear on that day. Just call them, tell them it's canceled. And you could have done that 3 weeks before,
well, yeah,
and nobody would have been
we know about all the
inconvenienced.
technologies and stuff, and I work in development, of switches for motorcycles. We back up everything. We do email and fax. Yes, we're still doing the old antiquated fax because it's a double check, because when things fall through and parts don't get to a place on time and an assembly line shuts down, it's $10,000 to $20,000 a day that somebody has to pay. So you always want to make sure that you're getting these things done. And I don't understand why they wouldn't do that here. Using paper mail is maybe you can use that too, but I would think fax plus
That example of
email would be good. I
that
think,
example Attorney Sagitan has brought out is poor brand management. That's what that
Or
is.
just
The
poor
judicial
management.
system is poor management, and the brand the court is supposed to provide, meaning the delivery of justice. In that specific case, what's happened, you see, brand managers, brand custodians, have to always be aware and alert and awake of developments that is changing this world. One thing we need to accept, we all have to understand, there's only one thing that's constant in life. Change. Now, adapting to change is the name of the game. The system, Attorney Sugitan was pointing out, is a system that worked 30 years ago. Terrific, 30 years ago. But in the last 3 decades, there has been many innovations, advancement, new technology, and the people in the court, they're probably sitting there and, you know, playing Facebook, emailing their friends, but refuse to use the instrumentation, the office equipment, for more effective communication. If it's okay if they're going to do like 1,000 clients a day, 1,000 cases, it's an average of 8 or 10 cases. Now, to reach 10 people to use their fax or the email and the letter, it only takes more effort. But the problem is, which is typical of government, that's why branding is very poor in the Philippines, branding government in this country is archaic. It's antediluvian. It's what we were doing in the 18th and 17th century. We are still applying today simply because, well, I wasn't told to do that.
Here's a point that we haven't even mentioned, you know. Everybody will, here in this country, will say we are the texting capital of the world.
There you go, text.
Why aren't we texting those things? I think that is a logical question that you could ask. Look at, you're all texting each other all day long. Why can't you do it as an official, a text and an email?
Good point.
And
Excellent.
a fax? Well, you'd never miss out. And because I don't have a lot of confidence
And
in the mail system.
just say,
here, you
please
know,
confirm.
Yes. As you were saying, to call those people would be an extra mile for our public servants.
Too much.
It's too much for them.
Too
But
much.
on the contrary, this is the age where newspapers are folding up. Where,
They're dying, yeah.
Paper is getting phased out.
Yeah.
So we should be adapting to it by even just telling them, hey, come over to the judge's office. We have changes for the November 26th hearing, for example, something like that. That's well, as I said, it's going the extra mile, but it happens sometimes. Some people do take the extra mile from the judiciary. Some people do text the lawyers or even call them or drop by their office. Attorney, you should drop over. There's going to be a change in the schedule. The judges are going away, etc., something like that. Some people do that, but it depends. It's not a consistent deliverable of the court personnel.
Well, that goes out back to the branding. You know, if it isn't consistent, then you're in trouble. You know,
In a way, life is all about branding because we all have different personalities and we all have different levels of integrity. Like you said, there's negative branding, there's positive branding. Branding and management, strategic management, imposes on the manager, the operator, to improve one's self-surrounding and workplace, if not work style and mode, to keep in step with your market, or else you lose your brand, or you lose what you call your market position. In life, it is like that. If we decide to stay home because, well, it's too much traffic to go out because it's Christmas season, gasoline's expensive, there's toll, parking is difficult, you know, what happens to you is you will mutate into nothing because you will be like a hermit. You're not going to find out what's going on. You're not out there. You're not hitting the streets. You're not out there working, you know, because it's more comfortable. What happens is you slide back. Then you become insignificant and you lose your brand. You know, for example, friendship. The simple notion of friendship takes responsibility. You know, to have friends, you need to be responsible to call them up, to stay in touch, to actually take time out. Hey, guys, we're going out again, but you know, the last 3 nights I've been going out and you know, I've been drinking and tomorrow I can't meet you because it's too much. Hey, who told you to go out every night drinking? But you see, if you don't make that effort with a friend, after a while, you lose that friend. See, the consistency is gone and you're not available anymore. You're not making that effort. You're not going out that extra mile. You're going to lose your brand. In other words, the effort, the ability to come out, the consistent delivery. Friendship, believe it or not, takes responsibility to stay friends.
Friendship is also branding.
Yes, it's branding. Life, a lot of things in life is
branding.
branding. I simplify it with super brands and with a lot of product services and even political imaging. It's quite simple if you look at it. And yet, we seem to always miss out on the finer points and the details. You know, as they say, the devil's in the details.
Well, I think a lot of it too is people have a big misconception about advertising and branding. Advertising is one thing, branding is something entirely different, you know. Advertising
my
is a
problem
way to
is-
start selling your products, you know, and once you've got the products are being sold,
Yeah,
then you've got
advertising,
some kind of, you know.
it generates
yeah,
awareness.
awareness, but it doesn't.
but
it
there's
doesn't
no
create a
morality
brand.
in
No,
advertising.
it doesn't create a brand.
No, because advertising, while it generates awareness, actually, most of the time, tells a lie. Just so they can sell the campaign
I've-
and make more money.
I've
You gotta
spent-
remember.
I spent my life
Yeah.
writing
Yeah,
advertising.
but-
That's
Larry,
hard, you know.
no, but
I
Larry,
can't- yeah.
Buyer beware.
Advertising,
When it
ad
comes to
agencies make 15% of the gross, correct? Of the media spending of the client. Normally, that's the case. So what they do, the objective is to make your client spend more in media, so that the volume, the gross volume goes up, and you have an adequate income based on the commissions or the
By
percentage.
the way, they don't pass that on to the writers, trust me.
But
You don't get part of the pie.
No, they don't give us a part of the pie.
it's like, okay, watch TV and watch the commercials. Tell me it's all true. Use the shampoo. It's silky as
Photoshop.
why. You know, Photoshop.
advertising.
The person's out there and is wearing a watch and looking at you. And God, that person looks great. Wait, how come I see that person in the street? She's 40 pounds heavier and she ain't near as pretty. And her color ain't that bright. You know, see, when advertising,
Photoshop has done some great stuff.
Oh, yes.
You know,
I
It's made
believe-
a lot of people beautiful.
I believe integrity is the name of the game.
yeah.
Advertising should promote the integrity, not distort
Well,
it.
see, and that's the point where we come back.
Not
There's
distorted.
branding, and there's
Super
super
branding.
branding, and that's the point. Is the positive, the super just is
a
plus
positive,
branding, isn't it? It's
yes.
a positive branding.
Plus branding.
Good.
And it's plus branding, and this is the thing that all of us need to worry about if we're in the branding business, and we have our own.
But we
brand.
all are.
We all are there. We can work a lifetime establishing a brand and blow it
In
overnight.
a few seconds, yes. That's
For
true.
example, we just had the David Petraeus thing in the United States.
Imagine
The-
his
the-
career.
Yeah, his career, I mean, he already done all the things, but his is going to be pretty tough on him. Look what happened with Tiger Woods as an endorser for companies and things where
Armstrong,
where
same thing.
I mean,
Oh, that's a
much
big
worse
crisis.
much worse than Tiger Woods.
Yes.
I mean, Tiger Woods had a problem with his family.
It's a domestic
a
issue.
domestic issue, but this guy Armstrong was
It's a
cheat
professional.
from the
professional.
very
And
beginning.
that guy in
yet he was
BBC.
doing good
Integrity
things.
issue.
Oh, the guy at BBC.
The guy at
yeah,
BBC.
the
CEO had to
pedophile
just
at
retire.
BBC, right?
Had to
at the
resign.
BBC. Well, those things, those kind of things, are things that we always have to be vigilant about our brand. And so this is where it comes out. Who do I choose to speak for me? Who do I choose? How do I choose?
Endorse.
How do I do
Endorsement.
the endorsing? Who do I choose to endorse me? Maybe it's a lot better to use a cartoon character or something else because they can,
That's right.
you're better off because you don't have the vagaries of humanity and of human beings there, I suppose,
It's called volatility.
Yeah.
Actually, consumer choice today is also affected by social media. So what my friend endorses, I will
Sure,
probably buy into.
A lot of
But
it is.
the
yeah.
best endorsement is always a third party, and ideally from a friend. That's really the best endorsement. Somebody tells you this, yeah, you follow it because there's a personal relationship, especially if you trust the person and they're
Right,
your friends.
exactly.
Now, but the problem with endorsements, most especially celebrity endorsements, is you become vulnerable because these are human people. These are human beings who are volatile, and they can make a change or they can be dragged into a crazy substance. or
I would like to
something,
just
yes.
jump right in here and say that applies to everybody except
Yes.
for we three here because we're probably perfect in every way. And I don't want anybody out there to forget that because we run out of time here tonight. And so I hope, Sarah,
Yes, Larry,
bless
thank you for having
And
us on
Harry,
the
God
show
bless
again.
you. And for all you people out there, bless you too. Thank you for inviting us into your homes every week. It sure wouldn't be any fun without you. And until I see you again next week, straight ahead.